With much munai, I welcome you to my channel today. This is Zandra. Today, I would like to speak on something I submitted on my Facebook story yesterday, which was about journey into self-love. When I encountered this journey following my recent ill health, I found the journey to self-love with great spirit, unconditionally, a very painful insight into the attention I give to selflessness rather than self. This brings me to a point where I have had and we might have to take note of the choices we make or the diverted directions we take from Great Spirit. The challenge we face, or I faced during this period, led me to some painful conclusions about how much attention I pay to myself or how many gifts of love I extend to myself. And what was very insightful into my selfless service to others, that it was a very painful one, that I had to confront my emphasis on others rather than myself and do something about it. My recent journey, the self-love imposed and self-imposed retreat, led me to face what what was needed to be looked at on an emotional level, on an energetically level, and on a spiritual level, and on a physical level. I had to ask myself, was it my lack of energy and exhaustion that led me to my recent ill health? Or was it a challenge from spirit, or a guiding me to take the time out to think about me and an issue of self-love, given what I had spoken about previously? And they imposed on me a timeout which I have never taken for myself. This realization came when I was so ill, without a voice, and felt that I had been left to wander in this midst of the realms we live in, on my own without support. And the support that I might have had from the people around me was not the things that was giving me the energy to be alive. So it's told me to take time. I was told to take time out. The energies around me were saying it was time to retreat from others and give your attention to yourself. The absence in the time to love myself was needed to address the journeys I had been on for some time. I meditated, I dreamt, and reflected on what I saw as my soul retrieving exercise. My neglect of self had to change. My need to let go of people and things that no longer served my best interests also had to go. And that was a very difficult one, because what does one mean when it doesn't serve your self-interest? To me, it meant those people who may have presented one image, but behaviors, attitudes, language says another, that does not fit into where I am at that moment in time, and also doesn't come into my being and my connections with spirit, to how I think about the realms we live in, then they probably had to go. And in doing so, I had to face some of the realities that I have avoided. That recognition and the actions in my present part led me to see what I was needed to accept. I had to accept the changes that was inevitable. Speaking my truth, at least to myself, was essential. The journey made me see what I had been ignoring, or what I needed to recover, as a matter of urgency. To give myself one chance to love me. That one self that I had neglected because I was giving to others and giving to others, and I didn't see the giving to others was making me more and more exhausted on all sorts of levels. So that is something I think I wanted to share with you. That whilst we might be givers and might be very much into the humanitarian aspect of the things that goes on around us and who might need us and who might not need us, we might need ourselves sometimes. And that's something we have to recognize. It gave the timings in retreat whilst I have been here on my own, gave me time to look at the failures I had done to myself because I was giving others too much of myself. And that is something that in the experience of this journey led me to look at how I feel about myself, how I accepted myself, my self-worthiness, and my self-worth. And this how soul-destroying not giving to self first can be. And it was heartbreaking because it was painful. I had to recognize that the pain I was feeling or the essence that was fractured did not really belong to me. It was what I was recognizing that I had taken into myself, into my spirit being from others. And that was not serving me at all. So the lessons I think we have to learn, and I certainly learned, is the need to exercise unconditional love for self first and foremost. It is essential to our spiritual essence. It is essential to our existence in the realms we engage with on a daily basis. We matter on our journey, not only others. That mattering helps us to recognize our self-love. And that mattering, feeling that you matter and feeling that you are worthy and that you love yourself unconditionally, helps you to concentrate and to correct the journey you might be on that might be leading you away from your soul journey and brings you into connection with the divine that is essential. I found the self-retreat, meditation, and my dreaming and working with my dreams as they occurred. And I'll give you an example. One dream, I was in a circle of the spiritual realm, and they permitted me to speak. And I was speaking on a lot of things that I had done during my career as a professional strategist. But then the next morning, and I remember that dream very clearly, I was in my old role as a strategist. But the following night, I was left to be silent. I was again in a circle of elders or the spiritual realm, but I was not allowed to speak. They were dressed differently, and I sat for the next 3 dreams of being part of the spirit realm. I was in silence. And that taught me a lesson, that maybe that when we journey, we should take time out and be silent for ourselves. And that silence helped me to get through the ill health and the recovery that I'm still on. So today, I would like to ask you and appeal to you to, when we share and think of selflessness and really appraise ourselves as being selfless, we should be also being a bit selfish. A bit of self-love and self-worth will get us a long way through that journey of selflessness. So selflessness, whilst it may be angelically and spiritually correct, sometimes it may need to be put on the second level of our giving and make ourselves our first and essential, most vital energy within the essence of giving. So I thank you today. If you like what I've said or are interested in what I have said or wish to have a dialogue about it, please contact me on my email, subscribe, and share with others. I thank you again, and I wish you well. I'll speak with you again soon. Bye-bye.